So, in my assessment of what's happening with the censorship and the attacks on right wing media, am I misstating anything in your opinion, Bernie?
I feel very uncomfortable, Bill. I have to be honest with you. I agreed with everything you said, and that makes me feel very uncomfortable.
No.
Uh, okay, let me make several points. First, I have a friend, a very smart guy, who back in the '60s was a anti-war liberal, anti-war liberal activist. Over the years, he became a conservative. A few years ago, he said to me, if the left ever is in a position to take control, they will try to shut down free speech. I wasn't buying it. He's right. It turns out he's absolutely right. Because if the liberals on this committee had their way, if they thought they can get away with it, which, as you said, they can't, but if they thought they can get away with it, they would try to shut down any kind of opinions that they disagreed with. That's point number one. Point number two, the purpose of this hearing ostensibly was to come out against misinformation, disinformation, lies that pose as facts. Hey, I'm against that also. You're against that also. But the problem is that too many liberals think that the only disinformation that's worth talking about is coming from conservative media. Oh, there's plenty of disinformation coming from CNN and MSNBC, but they don't want to talk about that. Adam Schiff, a member of the same Congress that held this hearing today, Adam Schiff disseminates false information all the time, but that doesn't seem to bother them. Okay, that's point number two, that they think it's only a conservative problem. And my final point, Bill, they want to talk about information that presents itself as fact, but it's really either lies or disinformation. But it'll take them 10 seconds before they go from supposedly factual information to opinion that they don't like, that they'll try to shut down. It's one thing to say, I don't want somebody on the air to say the earth is flat, because it isn't flat. That's a fact. I'm all for that. But when it gets into opinion, as you rightly asked, who's going to be the judge of what opinion is false and what opinion is acceptable? That's the problem.
Well, vibrant debate is the mark of a democracy, of a country that respects opposing points of view. We're not a country that respects opposing points of view anymore. We're not.
That's right.
And on both sides. On both sides. So the game now is to run the other side down. All right? Just
totally agree.
Down. All right? So I'll give you an example. So I'm talking to Sean Hannity on his radio program today, and we're talking about Joe Biden. And there's a clip of Mr. Biden yesterday, he's not able to get out that 500,000 Americans have died from COVID. Can't get it out. Just can't say it for whatever reason. All right? And so the discussion was about cognitive decline on the part of the president. So it was a very interesting discussion. There weren't any facts presented because we're not doctors. I mean, we can't go in and say Joe Biden has X, Y, and Z. What we can say is that this is what is happening. That's a fact. Okay, so whether you like Joe Biden or not, that's a discussion that's worth having because he's the leader of the country. Now, the other side would shut that discussion off. You couldn't have it because you're lying about Joe Biden. No, I'm not. I'm raising questions about Joe Biden as I raise questions about Donald Trump in certain areas. I'm not saying anything because I don't know. I'm not a physician. But they would shut that down. And I don't think people understand, but the big threat here are the corporations, Bernie. So you saw the boycott stuff. You saw big corporations pulling ads just on accusations, allegations, nothing solid. We don't like them, so you pull your ad or else. And they did. And now they're trying the same tactic on the cable carriers. You better pull them off. You don't pull them off, we're going to hurt you. That's what's going on here.
They're cowards. Corporate America has become an institution composed largely of cowards. They don't want to. They don't want to question whether. They don't want to debate. They don't want a healthy debate. They don't want two sides of a discussion. They have taken sides, and the side they've taken is the woke left-wing side of arguments.